Good evening everyone, welcome back to the lecture hall. This time we're going to be taking a step away from Terraria again briefly to look at someone who is an archaeologist, explorer, adventurer, all-round badass, and is not Indiana Jones. Of course it's the one and only Lara Croft. That is the classic interpretation of her, as there's currently some confusion in the archives owing to the fact that there are apparently 3 files for her, possibly even more. It's this whole thing I'm probably best not going into. Lara Croft was born into wealth and aristocracy in Wimbledon, United Kingdom, on the 14th of February 1968, making her at present 53 years old. The last time she was sighted, however, was presumably in 2003, marking her last known age to be 35. She's approximately 5'9", with brown eyes, and is most frequently identified by her long auburn plait that has become somewhat iconic. She is a qualified archaeologist, although she prefers the life of an explorer, and is highly proficient with a wide array of firearms, specifically a pair of Remington 1911 pistols. Over the course of her career, she has become renowned for uncovering an array of lost artifacts and encounters with mythical creatures. Born Lara Amelia Croft to Hinchinley and Lady Croft, Lara was privately tutored until she was 11, but displayed a curiosity and boisterousness that most in her upper-class surroundings found unbecoming of a young heiress. From 11 to 16, she was enrolled in Wimbledon Girls' High School, and towards the end of this period, she spent time staying with her family's butler Winston in his home off the coast of Ireland. Her curiosity would subsequently get the better of her, as she became embroiled in strange goings-on that were being investigated by Winston's friend Father Dunstan. She then went on to help the priest banish a 14th century demon. Soon afterwards, Lara found an outlet for her adventurous nature as she accompanied famed archaeologist Werner von Croy on an expedition to Cambodia. While the expedition ended in disaster, with von Croy believed dead, Lara's passion for archaeology only grew. She would attend a Scottish boarding school, followed by a Swiss finishing school until the age of 21, during which time she indulged in extreme sports, honing the gymnastic and acrobatic abilities that would come to serve her so well. Following the completion of her studies, she took a skiing trip, potentially avoiding the marriage and life of high society that awaited her back in England, but was involved in a plane crash when returning home. Being the lone survivor of the crash, Lara was forced to endure the harsh conditions of the Himalayan mountains for 2 weeks before emerging into a remote village in Nepal. Rather than welcome the sheltered and safe life that had been arranged for her, Lara realised her ordeal had made her feel alive, and decided that she wanted to continue travelling and exploring, a decision that was frowned upon by her family, eventually resulting in her parents disowning her. For almost the next decade, she would grow her knowledge of archaeology, making several significant discoveries, including the Ark of the Covenant and the Spear of Destiny, and support herself via writing about her adventures and encounters with creatures not even thought to exist. In 1996, she would be approached by the businesswoman Jacqueline Nettler, who employed her to find part of an ancient artifact called the Skion. Upon being double-crossed by old associates of Lara, who were also employed by Nettler, Lara went on to collect all 3 pieces of the Skion, uncovering and thwarting a plot to raise the lost Atlantean civilization and destroy humanity. The next year she would find herself in a race against Italian mobsters to retrieve the Dagger of Jeanne, an artifact capable of turning a person into a dragon. Following that, her incredible adventures would continue as she searched for the 4 Infada stones for scientist Mark Willard, pieces of a meteorite that Willard planned to use to unnaturally speed up evolution, forcing Lara to put an end to its schemes. Finally, in what could be considered her last true adventure, Lara goes in search of the Amulet of Horus, and unwittingly unleashes the dark Egyptian god Set, commencing the apocalypse, which she must quest to halt. After reuniting with her old friend Von Croy, who ended up surviving his fate in Cambodia, Lara is trapped under a collapsing pyramid and herself presumed dead. Due to the tireless actions of Von Croy, however, Lara is recovered, but she is not as she was. After recuperating for some time, a still weakened Lara visits Von Croy in Paris, but becomes the prime suspect when he is mysteriously murdered. The events lead her to become something of a shadowy figure as she searches for her mentor's killer, uncovering a plot to raise the belligerent race of Nephilim, so-called Dark Angels. Managing to halt the schemes with the help of a mysterious man named Curtis Trent, Lara disappears into the shadows, apparently leaving the life she had once had behind, and has never been seen since. Lara Croft is an extremely well-known individual who most people have probably heard of, even if they're not aware of her exploits. She has single-handedly uncovered a vast amount of ancient history, fought lost, encountered creatures thought only to exist in myth, and experienced things that would drive lesser people to madness. Not only has she faced all of this down with a remarkably good humour, but has escaped certain death on multiple occasions. While Lara is still only human and has no supernatural or truly special abilities beyond her boundless tenacity, she has to be assigned a notoriety of high. Come on, you all know Lara Croft, and I mean, this is the OG Lara, the real deal. The woman who faces down literal dinosaurs and isn't the least bit phased about finishing the job the Meteor failed at. She is the pinnacle of a badass adventurer, and it's a crying shame we haven't seen her since the whole Angel of Darkness incident. Oh well, here's hoping she'll emerge again one day. Please remember to subscribe for more course content, leave a like, share, and all of that because it really does help the lecture series, and other than that, please just have a great day.